welcome. Good morning to my womanpreneur of the week, Awurama Kena-Aseidu, CEO of Ramafrique, Ghana. Awurama, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm well, you?
I'm doing all right. I saw you carrying one big, hefty portmanteau.
Yes.
Is this one of your own designs,
Yes,
one of your own
please.
creations?
Yes,
Let's take a
please.
look.
Okay, so this is my heavy bag.
I
have
see.
this here. I'd also send in pictures. I didn't bring all of my products, so probably
Okay.
you can see everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is this bag that you just showed us made of?
This is made of card and then a bit of plastic weights on the inside.
Okay.
We have foam and then we have the fabric as well as leather.
Okay, so you
Yes.
have this bag actually comprises of plastic waste.
Yes,
So
mainly the billboard material.
I see billboard material.
Yes,
Does that get discarded?
Yes.
Oh, tell us
Yes.
about that.
Okay, so at Ramafrique, for our social responsibility, what we do is to recycle plastic waste, mostly water sachets or the billboard material, mostly known as the flexi material. So you see, usually on 31st nights, this whole watch night, crossover.
So these are
these
the
billboards.
actual billboards
Yes.
that we see, these big
Exactly.
ones. And after the event or whatever is done,
Exactly.
the rest is just waste material.
Exactly.
I see.
Yes, so after the main event, if for instance the billboard is dated for 31st December, after 31st December, it's no longer in use. So that's where we come in. We gather these plastic waste and then use them to do school bags or leather bags or handbags like these.
That's exciting. Well, tell us a little bit about you. What did you study in school? Was this always in your purview? Have you always been business-minded?
Well, I think my mother has always been business-minded, so
Okay.
I grew up seeing her.
What kind of business was she into?
She used to do almost. My mom was a teacher, but
Okay.
then she used to do side business like selling basic things to the kids. You know.
Ekpakpakpa woman.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I think I saw more of business through her eyes. But
Okay.
I studied economics, stats, and mathematics at University of Ghana, Legon.
Okay.
And that was also where I started doing Ramafrique. So in university, I used to do more of retailing and then reselling.
Okay.
And production. And I also used to do refurbishment. So if I say refurbishment, if you have an old shoe or an old bag that you want to turn into African print products, then I come in and then just wrap it up for you.
So you were doing that on your own. Where did you
Yes.
learn how to do all of that?
YouTube.
YouTube. What a
Yes.
resource that is.
Yes.
So for budding womanpreneurs, even if you're a student and you're at uni, you can pick up a skill and make some
Exactly.
extra money. So was it actually putting real money in your pocket at that time?
Yes, so when I started, I was doing it mainly for myself. I
Okay.
had bags that I felt the leather was, looking a bit funny, so I'll just wrap it up with African print. But I go
Okay.
to class, and then my mates are like, "Oh, I want one, I want one." So at the beginning, if I'm being honest, I just liked doing it because people knew that Rama likes doing African print stuff, and that's
Got
where the
it.
Ramafrique actually came from.
Okay.
So Rama does African print stuff, so they bring them to me. And one time, I'm like, you know what? Looks like people are interested in this, so let me start charging, and that's when it became a business. So before then, it was just a side thing I was doing just for fun.
Interesting. So you would wrap up the bags with the African print, the
Yeah.
shoes, and then when you actually open it up for friends and others to, come and purchase from you, what was that like? How did you get the word out there? What was your marketing tool when you were in uni?
I think university is actually one of the best places to start business because the market is right there.
Okay.
It's in your class, it's in your...
Listen up, Awurama is dropping some gems this morning for my
Yes.
students who want to make a bit of extra moolah. You say the market is already there.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's very easy to get the word out there in uni. You just need to get one person wearing it to their class. And uni is such that every friend you make probably will not be in your class.
Right.
For instance, I went to Wesley Girls High School before I went to Legon. So if my Wesley Girls High School mates purchases, she probably will be in business admin, I'm in accounts, and I will be in medical school. So it's very fast for the word to spread. You just need one ambassador of sorts to buy and then just go like, oh, I got this from Awurama, and then it spreads. So in uni, it was pretty easy to navigate and then get the markets because I just needed a few friends to buy and then the friends tell friends, so more like referral. And then
Okay. And then it goes
worked
on
out.
from there.
Exactly.
So then at what point did you decide that, oh, well, I'm going to, after uni, I'm going to make this a business. I'm going to register it. And then you add that sustainability or SDG, aspect to it. When did you start to go in that direction? Because,
Okay.
some people start businesses at uni and once they finish, really, that's the end of the business. They go into other ventures. What made you decide to stick with it and improve and expand?
Okay, so I did my national service at Ghana Standard Authority, and after national service, I wasn't retained. So usually you have to go looking for a job. I was already doing this from level 100, so that means I already had 4 years of experience.
So you did it all throughout your university
I did it all
career.
through uni.
I see.
Yeah, I started rapping in level 100. By level 200, I'd found some sources where I could retail. So I started retailing around level 200, and I did that all through till national service and all of that. But through all of this, I used to get customers who wanted customized products. So they have their own designs. So that was when I started researching about manufacturing on your own and finding people who are in that space. But after national service, when I tried getting a job and I wasn't really getting one, I felt, you know what, let me actually continue with this. The plan was to continue with this till I get a job.
Okay.
Yes. So, this is supposed to be like the side thing. But then you realize that the pay then, compared to what I was making from uni, I felt if I put in extra effort, I could get to that. Because I think then we were being paid averagely 700, 800. And when I do my math, I was making about 400 cedis profit back in uni with the 4 years experience. So I felt if I put in extra effort, I can easily make 200 Ghana cedis extra profit. And if I'm making 600 cedis from my house, then that's okay, compared to making 700 cedis and having to take a lot of it for transport and all of that. So that's where the whole idea of pushing the Ramafrique agenda started.
Okay.
But probably if I'd gotten a good paying job earlier, maybe
you would have decided, okay, let me park this dream for now.
Yeah,
maybe I'll come back to it later.
Exactly. Or I'd have done it on the side, but unemployment helped me to push the agenda.
You know what is very interesting? A lot of womenpreneurs will tell you that sometimes their businesses, really came into fruition because of unemployment.
Exactly.
So you're at home, and there are a lot of young people who are at home at the moment, young ladies who are thinking, what should I even do at this point? I'm searching, it's not going well. You go searching for a job, you enter one uncle's office, it becomes a whole different story,
Yes.
and it causes a lot of frustration. And so if you are blessed to, have that creativity or have that talents, it's important to capitalize on that, even as you are waiting for your next opportunity, because that actually might become your bread and butter, like it was for Awurama. So you say you were doing research on manufacturing, how to manufacture.
Yes.
Was anybody supporting you, helping you, or you were doing this on your own?
I was doing this on my own. All through uni, like I was saying, I used to have one-off customers who come in and want customization. So through that, you start researching, like, okay, this customer wants a shoe and a bag. So where do I get it for the customer, And then you scout, you are roaming around asking all the major markets, okay,
right.
Do you have anybody who does shoes here? Do you have anybody who does bags here, So before I finished university, I had already found someone that I was working with, more like an intern. Let me put it like an intern. Okay. So I didn't know how to do the bags, but I'd watched the process a million times. If you asked me how a bag's done, even though I couldn't use the sewing machine perfectly then, I could tell you the steps. So after national service, all I had to do was to actually learn how to use a sewing machine and then incorporate the two.
I see.
Yeah.
How expensive is a business like this to set up in terms of like starting capital? Let's put university aside, because at that point you were really doing sort of customization, so the material is sorted. Now that you've gone into business, doing this as a standalone, how do you sort of stock up? Where does the money come from? Is it from savings, from the bank? How do you finance this particular business? So
one of the major ways, that's a traditional way, you sell, you keep your profit, and then you reinvest. So usually that is the model that we use. Now we are hearing of grants and other opportunities that are out there. So we are trying to take advantage of it, but normally what we do is make profits, reinvest, make profits, reinvest. Okay, so it wasn't a case of approaching any bank for... No. I am yet to hear any womanpreneur say that they had assistance from some type of, financial institution. No. Everybody does it, like you say, either reinvesting the money after selling and getting profit, or mainly from savings or from friends and family. Exactly. How many people do you employ? Averagely 8 people. Besides the indirect employment, when I say indirect employment, that's the delivery guys, the people we buy the leather from, buy the fabric from, but mainly we have 8 people that we work with. Okay. How long has the business been in existence for? So I started in 2012, so almost 11 years. It should be 11 by 31st of March.
Oh, okay. 11 years on the
Yes, even being my mom.
31st of March. That is no easy feat. 11 years keeping a business going. I mean, have you at any point in time thought, I'm going to pause this business? It's not worth it.
A million times.
A million times. Is that normal
times.
for any business owner to feel that way?
I think so. I think there comes a time where, you know, you're not really, sometimes you want to trust the process, but I don't know whether the process is trusting you.
I see.
You know, if it's worth trusting. So I feel like usually, and especially for people who have a backup plan, when I say backup plan, like university certificate, you know, when it gets difficult, so your next thing is, you know, let me just start looking for a job.
Let me go and bring that certificate from the drawer and go and look for a job.
Let me go look for a job. So I think it takes a lot of determination to stick through all the struggles, because at the beginning it's not very rosy. You're not getting customers on the regular, sorry. You can get a very good week today, and then next week it's like nobody even knows Ramafrique exists, and then the next week, you know, you go.
So it's like an emotional roller coaster being a business owner.
Oh, always. I think it's actually a growth process for me personally.
Okay.
By being an entrepreneur, you learn to control your emotions, anxiety, because you can't be too anxious in the business.
Because you are in charge,
Yes.
and in fact, if you fall apart, the business falls apart.
Exactly. So you have to learn. I think it's one of the things that I appreciate entrepreneurship for. It's molded me in a way.
Am I when you're ding?
Kakra. Better. I'm better than before. Like now I see myself, you know, taking charge of situations.
Okay.
At first when I used to be quite anxious, you know, like, oh, no customer is coming, and you're anxious for the first 2 years, but now no customer is coming and your mind is like, what do I do next? Instead of falling apart.
That's interesting. So these days now you say instead of floundering, being nervous, you go into problem-solving mode.
Exactly. Because you realize that you are the only one who solved the problem. Nobody is solving it for you. You're the owner, so you have to solve it.
Very interesting perspective there. You're in charge, so you have to tell it. So we need interesting. Well, time check. It is some 17 minutes. I beg your pardon. My math is off. 14 minutes to the top of the 10 a.m. You're still live here on 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. It is a glorious Tuesday morning. So we're having another exciting installment of Womanpreneur. Rama is my womanpreneur of the morning, talking to us about essentially turning trash into cash. So you've been doing this business for a while now. You add that aspect of, you know, incorporating plastic waste. How, you know, interested are you in ensuring that the planet we live on is safe, is durable, if you will, is fit for purpose? Because we know that climate change is doing a number on all of us. The weather is getting more extreme across the globe. Why was that important to you as a person, this environmental angle?
Okay, so I remember the very famous June 3rd Wahala, where the whole Vienna city, you know, I don't know if you seem to remember, the filling station got burned, flooding and all of that. Yes, I remember. I think I was on my way back home from school on that day, and we all heard of that news and how heartbreaking it was. So I did a bit of research, and then I realized that fundamentally the major cause of all this flooding is plastic waste choking sewage outlets. And being in the back space, I asked myself a simple question: how do you solve the problem, or how do you help? You can't solve the whole problem, but how do you contribute to solving the problem?
Right.
And that's when this whole idea of recycling came into being. I did a research and realized that I could use plastic waste to do some bags and to make them waterproof. Like it could be a waterproofing agent for the bags. So I thought, you know what, I could start here. It's better to do something small in my corner to help solve the problem instead of waiting to eradicate the problem altogether. So that's where the whole idea of recycling started. So it was when I started that I actually realized that it was linked to SDG goals. When I was starting, I didn't even know anything about the SDG goals.
Got it.
It was just to help the environment, because I believe as a good brand, you should be socially responsible. You know, that is what a good brand should stand for.
Is it something that you had stumbled across during your research? Because I find it quite interesting. You know, as a business owner making bags, you would assume that your main goal is, you know, to make beautiful bags and make a profit. I just wanted to delve into, you know, why that connection with the environment? Why was that important for you?
Okay, so my mom was a teacher around the Adabraka environs, and mostly her students were from these slums or
Okay.
the slum areas. I know that I've seen her bring home a couple of kids to live with us for a while because
I see.
their homes were flooded and they didn't have anywhere to go. Their parents are nowhere to be found. So I think growing up, we used to have like a night of a student or two living with us.
Really?
Yeah. And with all of these things, you know, you realize that when the research points towards the fact that these are people that can't be helped if you just do this little action, you just take this little action, you know. Like I keep saying, the point is not to eradicate the whole, because I can't solve all of it.
That's right.
But then just doing something to help the problem helps the problem eventually. Yes, so that's where this whole Ramafrique with plastic, that's what we call Ramaplast. So Ramafrique, but with plastic.
With plastic.
Yeah, that's where the whole concept came from. And amazingly, people embraced it quite well. I was quite surprised. I didn't think it was going to be embraced quite well because we all know that traditionally water sachets are waste.
That's right.
And not everybody would like to be found holding waste as a bag. Yes, but I think we are getting to a space where everybody is interested in this whole climate change.
That's right.
You know, environmental sanitation. You know, and it's a nice space to be in.
I've also seen when I checked out the social media, you were teaching some school children about recycling. So that's something that you also do. Tell us about that.
Oh, that's actually a very interesting part of the Ramaplast agenda. So what we do
is the Ramaplast agenda.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a Ramaplast agenda, but the main company is Ramafrique.
Okay.
Okay, so under that, what we do is to do the bags and then donate them to vulnerable children across the country. So usually at the end of the year, about 5% of our profits goes into production of bags and then distribution of the bags.
Okay.
Yes, but then, you know, Christmas is also the period where NGOs are trying to do something nice for people across the globe. And also during that time, you have people who are also patronizing these bags from us to also give to children across the country, so it ends up being a double win. Yeah, and for the training process, what we do is that when we donate the bags to you, we also train you on how to recycle the waste, because most of these waste or littering are done by kids who just finish drinking the water and then they just throw them away because they do not know that there's a treasure effect to it. So we always teach them that trash can be a treasure, and then we continue to teach them how it can be a treasure. So usually for the schools, we teach them basic things like pencil cases, because every student probably will need a pencil case.
That's right.
Yeah, so we teach them the basic ones, which is the pencil case, and then we used to operate a system where if you bring us plastic waste, we give you money. But now we have quite a number, so we've taken a pause on that. We hope to use up what we have and then go back to it. So when he mentioned trash for cash, I was actually laughing because that's what we do. You bring the trash and then
you get some cash.
Yeah.
I wish more and more of us would recycle, like we see in other jurisdictions, and even in other jurisdictions, it's not even foolproof. Sometimes you sort out your rubbish, your plastics, your glass, your paper, all of that, and sometimes it all gets lumped together. But at least there is some effort in that direction. How long is it going to take us to catch up with some of the more advanced jurisdictions who are actually getting, money out of their trash?
Yeah, I think we are gradually getting there, even being honest, especially with the introduction of these SDG goals. Now you know that, okay, like I said, when I started doing this, it was just from a pure heart wanting to be socially responsible. But now here you are, and you are being told that you are in alignment with SDG goal number 6, which has to do with clean water and sanitation. You are doing all these things, and there are grants and other opportunities that are associated with doing these SDG goals. So I think with that incentive in place, lots of businesses are finding themselves in a space where they want to recycle.
Have you been able to capitalize or tap into any of these incentives?
We've applied for a couple. If I'm being honest, it's been going pretty well. We've applied for Challenges Ghana, for instance. They came in with workers instead of money, but which is a good thing because we need the stuff as well. So the grants does not always come in form of money. Sometimes it comes in form of labor. Sometimes it comes in form of mentorship. For instance, Orange Corner's workshop, it's the grant I applied for, but then they will teach you on how to make your business better, sustainable. And I think all these things eventually will generate money. So regardless, I'm very happy to be a part of all those programs.
So there are interventions out there. If you are looking in the right place, you will get some support. I think quite often entrepreneurs, womenpreneurs, budding business owners don't actually know that there are opportunities that they can tap into.
True.
How do you hear about these opportunities?
So a friend actually advised me to follow the embassies on social media.
Oh, I see.
So that's where I started from.
Major key. Womenpreneurs, if you're listening, follow the embassies on social media, because that's where they'll advertise some of
most
these
of them advertise
interventions.
Some of these interventions.
Oh, I see.
When you're following them, you probably get to know what's happening in that space. Maybe they are supporting recycling. Then you know that, okay, I can fall in this bracket. You apply. You never know how it will go, but I mean, there's no harm in applying. You apply. If you get something good out of it, that's fine. If not, at least you've learned how to apply, so you know how to apply next time around.
Amazing stuff. What do you project for the year 2024 as far as your own business is concerned, and making sure you are implementing these SDGs?
Okay, so last year we started the school where we teach people on how to do bags and how to even use these plastic waste to do bags. So we are hoping that for this year we'll be able to continue with that and then sustain it some more. We started just last year around November, so we are hoping that we can go through till the end for the whole of the 2024. So 2024 is mainly for training on recycling and then bag making. So if anybody's interested in learning a skill, please come to us.
Well, speaking of coming to us, plug the socials for us so we can find Ramafrique and learn more about what you're doing for the environment and all of that.
Okay, so we are on Instagram, Facebook, and then TikTok as Ramafrique GH.
Ramafrique. We want to make sure everybody can follow you. R-A-M-A, yes?
F-R-I-Q-U-E-G-H.
Ramafrique GH.
Yes.
Okay.
On TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And then you can also contact us on 055 345 4011. 055 345 4011.
Amazing stuff. Turn your trash into cash. Very, very necessary that we ensure that we keep this planet that we're all living on as clean as possible. There were plans to make Accra the cleanest city. I don't know.
Yeah. I heard of that.
Me too. I also heard. We only heard, but we're waiting to also see. But with the likes of Awurama in the system, we're going to be putting our trash to much better use. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. We've learned a lot, and I'm sure some budding womenpreneurs have picked up a tip or a trick or two that they can apply to their own unique business. I think the research that you undertook on your own opened up a lot of doors. So if you're at home twiddling your thumbs thinking, oh, Charlie, I'm waiting for my next opportunity, you can create that opportunity. I also learned from Awurama that being a business owner gives you some inyeding because you are in charge and you can't afford to crumble. You pick yourself back up and then find a way forward. Awurama, very, very grateful for your time this morning. Thank you
for having me.
I want